Hi, Tom Trento, CEO of Defend the Border, here with a special guest, Sara Carter. Sara, how are you doing? You've been traveling all over the world, and now you're somewhere on the Texas border. Where are you?
Right now I'm in Brownsville, Texas, right here on the border of, at the end of Texas, right on the border with Matamoros, Mexico. And I got to tell you, never seen it like this. I've never seen it this bad, Tom. It's been a 4 hour drive to get here from where I was at near. And I got out here to the border, and I can tell you right now, we have thousands upon thousands of people crossing into our country. A lot of them are being released immediately. I've seen them. I've talked to them on the streets here in Brownsville, and I'm watching them come across all this morning across the Rio Grande. We've got National Guard out here. Governor Abbott just deployed over 500 National Guardsmen, including in that group is their Quick Reaction Force National Guard team, which is out here assisting law enforcement. This is just to give you an idea of how bad this is. That I spoke with Brigadier General, he's the head of the Air National Guard, Brigadier General Matthew Barker out here. He gave a press conference earlier today, talked about the quick reaction force that they've just deployed to the border. And what was so fascinating to me is that I've never seen them deploy actual National Guard to assist our local law enforcement. But there is such a deep concern right now that everything's going to go sideways, meaning they're worried about the amount of people that are coming over and the possibility that there could be, an overrun of the border, possibility that there could be some criminal behavior. So right now, Governor Abbott is doing everything he can, and it's all that he can do, because with the federal government allowing everyone to stay, with our Border Patrol agents' hands tied behind their backs and our ICE officials being told to release, there's not much more that the governor can do than just try to redirect people to our ports of entry. And that's what they're trying to accomplish with the National Guard and the Constantina wire at the border.
Unbelievable. Sara, you're an investigative journalist. By the way, how could people reach you? How should they follow you?
Oh, okay. Everybody, please go to SaraACarter.com. That's SARA Carter.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Sara Carter DC. I would love to hear your responses, hear what you would like us to investigate while I'm out here. I do spend a lot of time with the migrants. They are, very obviously the best asset for information out here is talking to the people that have actually made the crossing. And I'll be posting some of that on my Twitter, on my Instagram at SCarterDC as well. I really look forward, Tom, to being a part of the trip that we have planned to Israel. I think we have so much to learn from what we're seeing here at the border, so much that we can learn as Americans. I got to tell you, before we get off this interview, I know that it's up and down with the internet here on the border and where I'm at in Brownsville. But one of the issues that I'm deeply concerned about is the fact that our national security has been completely decimated. I said today to someone, the border has fallen. The border has fallen. It is absolutely a disaster, not only for Americans, but also for the people that are being trafficked into our nation. And as a Christian and as somebody who believes that, rules matter and that people matter and that we need to take care of our neighbors and we need to take care of each other, what is happening on that border at the behest and at the push of the Biden administration, which is allowing these drug cartels and human traffickers to basically take in hundreds of billions of dollars in trafficking children and women and killing our own children and our own citizens. I think we really need to pray on this. We really need to demand that our lawmakers put a stop to this before it's too late. We are losing our nation and we are losing our sovereignty. And, just again, to reiterate, this is not about not wanting immigrants to this country. I am the daughter of a Cuban immigrant. I love the idea that so many people want to be a part of our great nation. But I'm afraid that what is happening here is going to come at the expense of our great nation, and that frightens me.
Yeah, you have spent something like 19 years on the border, and it sounds like, Sarah, it sounds like you have never seen anything like this. How does President Biden and his wife uh, go to sleep at night knowing that this is the obliteration of the national sovereignty and security of our southern border with such a cultural wave invasion of people who hate this country? Sure, there's some good people mixed in. We just talked to Victor Avila. He says 90% of these people have no asylum claims at all, but they're being let in. How do the Bidens sleep at night knowing they initiated and fed and continue to feed this complete disaster?
I think they sleep just fine. I think this is exactly what this radical leftist, new progressive Democratic Party is doing. It's a part of what they believe in. They do it purposefully and with intention. But this is my issue. Who's going to pay the price for all the lives that have been lost? Who do we hold accountable for all the children that have been trafficked into our country and been put at the feet of monsters, of pedophiles and other horrible people who have used these children as well in factories and modern day slavery, which we know is a fact, which we know is true? Who is going to pay the price for our own country when we have a national disaster because we have allowed terrorists into our country through the U.S. southern border? And that is what we have to think about. And I think that's why 2024 cannot come fast enough. We need to hold our lawmakers accountable, and particularly the Biden administration, for what they've been doing, not only to our country, but around the world. As you know, I just returned from Hungary, and I was able to talk with state leaders there, the Prime Minister, Viktor Orban, and others, about what is happening across the globe. And I've watched as this administration has pushed our allies into the hands of our adversaries, has walked away from our allies like Israel and others, and has basically opened the door to the worst criminal organizations on planet Earth right now. And the drug cartels know this, and the human traffickers know this. And it is the reason why we have tens of thousands. I want you to think about what this means right now, right across the Brownsville border. This is just Brownsville alone. We have tens of thousands of people on the other side that are ready to make the mad rush. And I'm talking to sources that have told me their intention is to get in here tomorrow. So starting tonight at midnight, as we move into the final day of Title 42, what you are going to see, in my opinion, is going to be something we've never seen at the border. We're already seeing it. We're already seeing it with the thousands that have come in, 7,000 a day, 5,000, 4,000, and when by the end of the Biden administration, Tom, by the end of the Biden administration, what we're going to have is over 8 million people in this country, more than most states, and some states, right? Big, over 1 million of them with absolutely no idea who they are, no background checks, whatever, in our nation. And we're going to have to come to terms with that, and we're going to have to deal with that as a nation. And it's not just going to stay here at the border. Like Senator Marsha Blackburn, my good friend, and others say, every state is a border state. They are absolutely right. The people are here on the streets right now because it's such an overflow. They don't even know where to go. I'm telling you, I met people on the streets with children right now in Brownsville that have no idea where they're going, have barely $1 in their pockets. They've stopped by a Catholic charity maybe and got a little place to sleep for about an hour, and then they're back out on the streets again. So we have people in this country right now that are coming in, no jobs, no money, no access. What do you think is going to happen?
How about a disaster of unmitigated proportions? Just
Right,
listening to you,
right.
when we have a pretty hardcore following and the people we influence with our organization, United West, and now our work, defendtheborder.org. And just listening to you, and I'm pretty aware of all of this stuff, it sounds doesn't sound. It's very depressing and it's real. What can somebody do? I mean, you look at the northern states and they go, oh, that's not my problem. You look at the people in the center, maybe down in the southern areas, oh, this is bad. What can the average person do besides turning their head and burying it in the sand? What can they do to fight back?
They absolutely, first and foremost, cannot bury their heads anymore. We cannot turn away our heads. We won't be able to for long anyways. I talk to parents all the time. People, in fact, in my own family, and it's very personal, but just last week, my son-in-law lost one of his good friends who came back from a trip after graduating law school, asked if, had basically had jet lag like I do right now. And one of his roommates offered him a sleeping pill. He took that thinking it was a regular pill. Maybe he thought it was, something would help him get to sleep. He had a lot of jet lag. He's coming up on his law exams, and he ended up dying. He didn't wake up the next day. This is a guy who had his whole life ahead of him. Our children, our people are being murdered by fentanyl and counterfeit pills on our streets. I think people are waking up to it, but it's still slow. I don't think, young people believe it's going to happen to them. It can happen to anyone. Please protect your families. Never take a pill. Never take anything off the street that comes from anyone else, only from your doctor. I just want to send that out there. More importantly, don't bury your head in the sand. Know what's going on in your communities. Believe me, every state is a border state. You're going to find out that you have tons of problems in your community, from overcrowding at trauma centers and hospitals, to problems with our public school systems and education, to human trafficking and child trafficking. Watch what happens in your own community. There are modern day slaves. There are people being brought into this country that are in indentured servitude. We have to keep our eye out for them, and we've got to keep our eye out for ourselves and for our families. And that means contacting your lawmakers, ensuring that they're doing their job, holding them accountable when they don't, and speak up. Don't be the silent majority anymore. We can't afford that. No more silent majority. Be the vocal majority and say you're not going to take it anymore. And when we start speaking up, this will stop. As long as we remain quiet, they're going to continue to do this. And before you know it, like a frog slowly boiling in a pot, we're going to be at the apex, and we're going to be boiled and done for. Sorry to be the bearer of that bad news. I always think the glass is full. I have a lot of faith in God. I have a lot of faith in my nation. And I have a lot of faith in us as a people. I really, really do. But I just think I'm here every day seeing it. And I know a lot of people aren't. But when I see it, it's very personal for me. And I know that if every American had that opportunity, it would be personal for them too. So just realize that I'm out here doing this. We've got other great journalists out here, and people like you, Tom, and Tom Homan, and everybody doing their best to educate the populace. Let's get out there. Let's expose the corruption in the Biden administration. Let's save lives, and let's make a difference. And we can. And let's start with a prayer tonight. Maybe if all of us do that in one big prayer wave across America, right? We're gonna make a difference. Amen. Amen. Thank God.
Absolutely. Hey, SaraCarter.com. We love you. And everyone, go to our website, go to our Instagram, Twitter, follow her. You're going to be on there for what? The next few days, going all over the place. Oh,
absolutely. Absolutely. I'll be on there for the next few days, posting everything I can.
I think tonight you're going to be you're on Hannity all the time, so keep that up. We at Defend the Border, we have launched a grassroots campaign to mobilize people, educate them to be prepared to take their cities back. We're working closely with John Guandolo, understanding the threat. And that's gonna come out more publicly down the road. And I can't wait for our team to
I'm excited.
Be in Israel with Tom Homan, Victor Avila, and a bunch of others. Sara Carter, you stay safe, and you take care.
Thank you. You too, Tom. Now. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.